My name is Em and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video it is going to be the 2020 Book Awards. So I actually saw this video on G from Book Roast's channel, so if you are wondering why these prompts sound maybe familiar, it is because I did borrow hers, but obviously my answers are going to be different. I decided to do the 2020 Book Awards pretty late. I know we are kind of like the middle of January right now. We're gonna overlook that because it's still fun, it's still a really exciting video, and it's something that I've never done before or really like heard of before, and then I saw a couple people doing it and I'm just obsessed. So I read a lot in 2020. It was my best reading year ever. I think I read more books in 2020 than I've probably read my entire life. In 2020 I read 120 books, and considering my goal for the year was 20 books, I find that incredibly exciting and amazing. I did definitely have a lot of time on my hands in 2020. That is definitely the main factor as to why I read more books, and through all of the lockdowns my coping mechanism was reading. If that was not yours and if you didn't read as much in 2020, that is totally okay. You read at your own speed and you are valid no matter what. But today I'm going to be going through different categories and naming the best book out of that category. So okay, so the first category is the most impactful or emotional read. This will come as no shock to anybody, I am sure, but it is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is my favorite book of all time. I did not read it for the first time in 2020, but I did read it in 2020. I was debating whether to pick a different book for this, but overall it has to be this one because it is the most emotional, impactful book ever. The other one that kind of comes to mind is Between Shades of Grey. I read that last January. I'm not really going to be giving the synopsis of these books, but I will try to link the Goodreads down in the description, or just check them out on Goodreads to find out the synopsis, because these are books that feature on my channel a lot, so I feel like I don't need to describe what they're about. Okay, so the next category is most unique book. The only possible option for this category has to be The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by the incredible V.E. Schwab. I truly loved this book. This has such a very unique complex, and I really don't know how Victoria Schwab even came up with the idea for this. I have never ever heard of a book like it, and it was executed so nicely. I feel like when a book is this hyped like this book was, this was probably the most talked about book of the year. But I feel like when a book is this hyped up, it can either go one of two ways. You're either gonna love it or you're not gonna like it because the hype ruined it. For me, I absolutely loved it, and I didn't really expect to. Obviously I wanted to read it because I felt like I was missing out when everybody else was reading it, but I truly think that this book does live up to the hype. Yes, it is a little bit slower paced, but totally worth it in the end because the characters, the story, chef's kiss, amazing. The next category is the most surprising read. So I chose The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones for this. This is a low-key horror book. I don't know if what you would call it other than a horror, because it's not a thriller. It's a YA book though, so it's not like too terrifying. I had never read anything even remotely scary before, so I truly didn't really expect to like this book, but I read it in less than 24 hours, and considering it's not a very short book, I was so proud of that. The next category is the funniest book. This was difficult to think of because I don't tend to read humorous books, but the one that I went for was actually a graphic novel of sorts, and it is Adulthood is a Myth. This one was super cute. I read it on Scribd, and I've read a couple other books by this author and they're all really amazing. This is just a very relatable and funny book, and it's a super short read. I highly recommend you checking it out. I really did enjoy this, and I think I laughed out loud a couple times. So the next category is most disappointing book. I don't actually currently own the copy of it because I gave it away. It was that disappointing, but it was The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I really did not like this book at all, and I was very surprised that I didn't like it, considering it had amazing reviews, and of course I had loved The Deathless Girls by the same author. However, this just didn't execute well for me at all. Okay, so next category is most beautiful cover. There were so many contenders for this category because every single cover that I've read is beautiful, because mostly I do read books for the covers, guys. But the one that I have chosen is House of Earth and Blood or Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. This is one of the most beautiful covers I think I have ever seen in my life. It is just the beautiful contrast of colors and the symbols, and they all mean something to the plot, and when you have read it you do kind of realize that. It was again one of like my favorite books of 2022, and you can see all of those annotations too. This was a wild ride and I loved it from beginning to end, and I have such happy memories of reading this book as well. Okay, so the next category is Best Contemporary. I don't like contemporaries. I'm gonna say it, I've said it multiple times, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't like contemporaries. However, During February, March, when this whole pandemic was kind of starting, I was in such a mood to read contemporaries. I don't know, was it because I was missing summer? I don't know, was it because I wanted to live in this world but also a version of this world where we could leave our houses? But anyways, I went through a contemporary phase and I'm so glad I did, because otherwise I would have no answer for this one. So the one that I have chosen is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. I read this during my February midterm and it was amazing. I remember really loving it. I wonder if I reread it right now, would I like it as much? Okay, so the next category is best thriller or mystery. This was the first year that I even ventured into this genre, and I'm really glad I did, because I have discovered that I really do enjoy it. But the one that I have chosen is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This was an incredible read. This was actually the first thriller I ever read, so maybe that is why I loved it so much. I know a couple of people have said that it's not the best thriller in the world, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I remember getting it on my Kindle. The day that I got that, I read it all in one sitting. I stayed up until like 2 a.m. reading, and that was one of the first times that I've ever done that. The other time was A Court of Mist and Fury. And I got my mom hooked. My mom does not read, but she loves the plot of books and she loves to like hear what books are about, because she's like, that would be a really great movie. So I was telling her about this and she was like, please just like stay up and read this. I'll make you coffee, I'll make you anything, just stay up and read this so you can tell me what happens. And it was one of the most crackpot like nights of my life, and that sounds so sad. Okay, so the next category is best comic. I actually did read a good few comics in 2020. One series that I absolutely adored and I've literally just finished a reread of is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Obviously, I absolutely adore this series. These characters have my entire heart and I absolutely love them. Okay, so the next category is best fantasy, and there are so many books that I could pick for this, and I already have my answer for 2021, but that's not what this video is about. For this, I chose Caraval by Stephanie Garber. The reason being is because I truly didn't expect to like this. I've had this on my shelf for a good 3 years and I was considering getting rid of it until my friend Lauren on Lauren Kiss Reads made me pick it up for a collab video, and I'm so glad that I did, because this world, these characters, everything is incredible. I cannot wait to continue with the series, but I feel like I was satisfied with the ending of this book, that I don't feel like I necessarily have to pick this up right away. Okay, so the next category is best sci-fi. Now, I don't know if the book I'm about to hold up even is a sci-fi, but it is literally the only book that could even be considered a sci-fi, and that one is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I read this back in March of last year, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I have not yet continued with the series. I don't know if this counts as sci-fi. I am definitely making an effort to read more sci-fi, because I feel like it's a genre that I really could enjoy. I love fantasy, so there's no reason why I shouldn't like sci-fi. If you guys do have any sci-fi recommendations that are kind of easy to get into, let me know down below. Preferably YA, because I feel like I would just not have the brain power to concentrate on an adult sci-fi. But I really liked Scythe. If it does count as sci-fi, it's kind of more dystopian, but that's kind of the same thing. I really did like this book and I do want to finish this series, maybe this year, who knows. Okay, so now we are on to the last category of this video. This has been such a fun video to film. So it is just your best overall book. Obviously, it has to be The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book honestly means so much to me, and I encourage everybody that I talk to read this book. This is such an important read, and I definitely think that this is the most magnificent book to ever exist. I don't think that will ever change. Even when I find like new favorite fantasies or anything, this is still the top. Okay guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. This was honestly such a fun video, and if you want to see more videos like this or you want to see any other videos, please do recommend below. I am obviously vlogging a lot, but if you have any other recommendations for videos that you want to see, do let me know, because I'm open to suggestions. I had such fun with this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you liked my 2020 book awards. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you do want to stick around. I would love if you did. I will see you in the next time. Stay amazing, stay kind. Bye guys. Missing someone.